Welcome to the modern McLaren F1, because for part of Series 28 there is the Horizon Secret Santa, and the first reward was the Gordon Murray Automotive T50. That's this thing right here, by the way. It was sent out to everybody on the gifts tab who plays Horizon 5, and it has 655 brake horsepower, 344 foot-pounds of torque, and a 4-litre V12 powered by a fan, and it weighs only 2,242 pounds. A lot of people have said this thing is essentially the sort of modern version of the McLaren F1, hence the intro, and I can certainly see why, especially looking at the inside compared to what the McLaren F1 looks like. But we'll get to that in a moment, because in the bottom right you can see we've got a couple of different options, which also controls the aero at the back. You can have downforce, and then you can also have a boost as well. But yeah, on the inside it does look a lot like the McLaren F1, but now all that's left is to go ahead and take a listen to the engine. So here we are now over in the upgrade shop. Jumping over to conversion, we can only drivetrain swap this thing. We can go from rear wheel to all wheel, which we will do in a little bit, or we can go ahead and slap a good old set of twin turbos on there. Going to aero and appearance, what do we have? Do we have something cool for the front? Kind of, it's a splitter, but it doesn't have like the toe wing. And for the back we've got the almighty Forza wing, because why wouldn't we have it? But this is the Gordon Murray T50, quite a car indeed. It starts out on race suspension, and even though it's pretty light to start with, we can go ahead and make this thing even lighter to just above 2,000 pounds. And this thing also starts out on semi-slick tyres from stock, which is honestly pretty cool. But now we'll go ahead and check out the paints. So going over to the paint shop now, we've got nothing in advance, which seems to be a trend, and we've got a few manufacturer colour system. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colours, and I actually really kind of like the blue that that's in, but also that looks good too, so does that. It's Horizon Ketchup as well. Now this is a pretty cool car indeed, because I believe it first featured over at Goodwood's Festival of Speed, and I believe there is also one still housed there. But not only is this the highest revving V12, going all the way up to 12,100 RPM, which is absolutely insane. It has a massive jet engine sort of fan sticking out the back of it, and it's also probably the lightest supercar hypercar to date. And away we go. We are rear wheel drive, 600 and something brake horsepower. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with this thing. We've overtaken a few off the start already, which goes to show this thing's sort of sheer just incredible amounts of speed, and actually semi decent handling. I don't know, it's a little oversteer if you push it a bit too much, but then again it is a tiny hypercar with a V12, so that's kind of to be expected. And I was going to say past the McLaren, but we ended up just scraping the McLaren. Oops. Now this is currently in the aero high downforce mode, so it is a little twitchy, but that has not limited its speed. Wow, okay. Now just a heads up, this thing starts in Horizon 5 at S2, so yeah, just keep an eye out for that one. But now we have the T50 in the game. That opens up the door for potentially bringing in Gordon Murray Automotive's other car, the T33. Which, to be fair, I would like to see in this game, just so we can say we've got the two of them, we can have them side by side, we can do photos, but, you know, that's up to Forza at the end of the day. Although, if we're talking car editions, I still want my Vauxhall Amiga. Come on, I've been asking for it since 2016. Right, 95%, one more turn to go through the final checkpoint, and we missed the wall this time, and across the line we go with a very, very, very comfortable first place, and a time of 1 minute 45, which might be the fastest time yet. Okay, here we are now back over at the upgrade shop. We're jumping to conversion. We're doing the thing we said we were doing earlier, making this thing all-wheel drive and slapping in the twin turbos as well to take this thing up to 902 horsepower. Is there anything else we can do? Can we upgrade them? Can we give it flames? Oh my, if we can make this thing shoot flames. Hold on, let's check. Can we? Can we? We can! Let's go! And like usual, we're going with off-road suspension, just because if you tune it right, it can make your car do good. If you tune it wrong, then you panic. So a little bit of upgrading later, we're sat at 2,700 and something pounds. We're up at 957 horsepower, nearly 1,000, but not quite. But we're also just sat at S2 945, just halfway through the class at 45,050 credits spent. Okay, here we are now over at the back of the Horizon Festival. So let's see, do we get a wheelie check from this thing? Sort of, but kind of not really. So, yes and no. Okay, here we are now over at the edge of the drag strip. Let's go ahead and get the launch control ready, and away we go. We are on the max boost this thing can have, so let's go ahead and see what it can do. It does sound pretty cool. It sounds a bit like an F1 car at this rate, but let's go ahead and see. What do we get through the camera? Hopefully something pretty good. 199 is not too bad. and then off the end of the runway at 222. Not too bad at all. Now, something that I find very cool about this is, with a car like this tiny and this light, there was definitely an option to sort of toy around with the Soren electric engine in there, but they didn't. They kept it with not only just an engine, but like I said earlier, the highest revving V12. So massive props to Gordon Murray Automotive for doing that, because that is one car with less electric in and more actual engine. I can't wait to have people yell at me for that one. You know what, I think this car needs a little colour, so I guess we're gonna... Hey, you got there before I finished my sentence. But before we go anywhere, here's the Forza shop for the week. We've got the Aston Martin Valhalla concept car, the Happy Snowman head, the Snowman outfit, the Mono BAC, or BAC Mono, that should be the other way around, oops. And then we've got the Deck the Halls car horn, which sounds a bit like this. Perfect, and now we've got the Horizon Super Wheelspin and the regular Horizon Wheelspin too. To be fair, this has been quite an interesting car to drive, so, you know, if Gordon Murray Automotive happens to have a spare one, oh my god, I couldn't have done that better, wow! That's literally where I usually start his motorway runs. Speaking of motorway runs, let's go ahead and get one done, shall we? And away we go! I'm really hoping for a good result out of this thing because, well, we put a lot into upgrading it and tuning it, so hopefully it should be pretty good. I'm going to estimate a top speed of maybe 230. And out the speed zone we go at 252.10, it's already exceeded my expectations, but we still have a downhill and a speed camera to go. I'll say having this central seating position is actually kind of cool as well, I actually do like this. And through the camera at 259.91, going downhill 262, 263, 264 out of this thing, which is absolutely nuts. I believe this is only just about 10 miles an hour off of last week's car, which for this is actually pretty good. At least, you know, all things considered. And now off to go and do something this car probably wasn't designed to do. Who am I kidding? It was never designed to do this. Here is the drift zone, so in we go. Let's see what we can get out of the Gordon Murray T50. A race car turned drift build, but yours truly, you're welcome. 33,936 points on that first run, which is not too bad. But I'm thinking we can maybe do a little bit better. And away we go, let's go ahead and see what we can do. We'll go ahead and throw this thing back the other way through the drift zone. Let's try and knock out the bridge, because that's what we always seem to be doing. And hey, we actually did miss it this time, and out the other side at 36,135. In the meantime, that is the video on the Gordon Murray T50. It is actually a pretty nice little car, and definitely worth picking up. So you should have one sat in your gifts tab on your inbox. By the way, to get to that, you go to your start menu, you go all the way over to my Horizon message center, and then when it loads, because it loves to take its time, we go over to gifts and it will appear over here. And that is where you'll download it from, and it should appear in your garage of cars. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'll go ahead and see you all in the next one. Let me know in the comments what you think of this thing. And yeah, that's about it really. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Check out. See ya. That's a T50 on takeoff.